No intro, let's just get started. Did you know that there is a secret list of reload modes in Chrome and other Chromium-based browsers? To show it, you press either F12 or you can right-click and hit Inspect on any page to bring up the developer tools. And with that open, if you right-click the refresh button, it will show new options: normal reload, hard reload, and empty cache in hard reload. The difference is that with normal reload, it will reuse any assets that were downloaded from its cache. It doesn't refetch every single element from the web server every time. Whereas with hard reload, it will just bypass the cache and refetch everything from the web server again. So then what's the difference with the empty cache option? Well, that is if any scripts or anything downloaded any assets after the initial page load and then put them in the cache, those would still be reused with the hard reload, because apparently the hard reload only bypasses the cache for the initial downloaded stuff. Well, the third option clears the cache completely of everything, so everything on that page from then on gets pulled from the server. Next up, did you know that Chromium-based browsers have their own task manager? Just like in Windows Task Manager, you can go to the three dots menu and then go down to More Tools and then Task Manager. Similar to the Windows Task Manager, it will show you which tabs or extensions are using up the most resources. You can sort by CPU, memory, and bandwidth. But you can also right-click to add more columns with different metrics as well. You can also access this a little bit more easily. If you right-click on the toolbar, you can actually customize the toolbar and select to pin the task manager right to it, as well as any of these other options if you want. Next, here's a few settings that are flags, they're called. They're basically just settings, and you can get to them by going to about://flags and just put that in the URL bar and just search in the filter box to find them. The first one is called Extensions Menu Access Control, and this shows a new layout for the extensions menu that you would click at the top right to see the extensions you have running. And I think this is a lot better than the previous one. It shows you much more clearly which extensions have access to the current web page through the toggle, and it makes it easier to access the default permission of that extension just clicking the thing underneath it. But even more useful, I think, is this new option that I don't believe was possible before to disable all extensions on that particular website. So if you've ever been on a site and it's acting up and you're not sure if it's one of your extensions messing it up, you can now just disable them all and see if it works again. It's so much easier. Another flag I like to enable is called Tab Audio Muting UI Control. And this makes it so if a tab is playing audio, it already will show the little sound icon on that tab. But now with this flag enabled, you can click it and it will mute that audio or unmute it without you having to right click it and then hit mute site. It's just a little bit easier. And next is a flag called Parallel Downloading, which will download big files and stuff in multiple parts simultaneously. So if you have a really fast internet speed, you'll probably get faster downloads from this. And if you're wondering, yes, changing this from default to enabled should make a difference, because for this flag, I actually looked in the Chromium source code, and default does not mean enabled by default, only for Android for some reason, so it should make a difference. All right, moving on, I have a few features in the developer tools window that might come in handy at some point, but mostly they're just cool. First is the ability to spoof your browser location. So to do this, open up the developer console. Again, you press F12 and then go to the top right and click the three dots, not the three dots for Chrome itself, the one within the developer tools. And then you'll also see more tools under here. And there's a whole bunch of other tools here. I'm not going to go through these, but you can look through them. I'll just count this whole thing as one of the 9. Anyway, for this one, we're going to click on Sensors. And it should bring up a new panel on the bottom. And as a side note, you can also bring up this panel by pressing Escape. And if you click the three dots on the left of this, it'll also show that Tools menu. Anyway, in the Sensors tab, you'll see a section called Location. And here you can choose in the dropdown which location as a preset you want to put as the spoofed location. So if I set this, for example, to Berlin, and then a website requests to have my location and I give it to it, it will see whatever location was set in this preset. And you can also enter custom info if you want. I believe this does stay, so don't forget to put it back. When you're done with it, you can just put it back to no override, and that is the default. Keep in mind that websites can still see your IP address. So if they do geo-fencing for which country by IP address, they're not going to be fooled by this, but it might come in handy in some cases. Next up, here's a cool trick called design mode. So you probably already know that if you right click on a website and select some text, you can hit inspect element and it takes you to the area where you can edit the code to change the text. But did you know if you go into the DevTools and then the console, you can type in the command document.designMode equals on, and you have to put the on in quotes. Then you hit enter, and now you can go over to the page and edit the whole page just like it was a text editor without having to go and right click and inspect every single different part. So you might have some fun with that. And then if you want to disable that mode again, you can just type in document.designMode equals off. Of course, it goes without saying that this doesn't change it for everyone else, just for you, and it goes away when you refresh the page. And next up is the ability to simulate a mobile device. Like if you want to see the mobile version of a site, in the DevTools, look near the top left for this little symbol where it says toggle device toolbar. And if you click that, you'll see the left side of the window showing the page change. But first, you'll want to refresh the page so it takes effect. And now the website should show the mobile version of the site. And you can actually change which device the website thinks you're using. In the dropdown, it has a bunch of presets for different iOS devices, Android devices, and it even has their preset resolution. This is mostly for developers testing out their website on different devices, but maybe for some reason you just really like the mobile version of a specific site, and you can actually click and drag, and you can see that it simulates as if you're tapping and dragging your finger. And it doesn't just change the resolution, by the way, it actually changes the user agent and browser info presented to the site to show like the operating system as iOS or Android. So it is a bit more sophisticated, and you can actually even add custom devices if you want it. So that's it, a few random cool features I thought you guys would get a kick out of. If I missed any that you think are super awesome and truly hidden, let me know down in the comments. And also be sure to check down there because maybe someone did leave a comment with a cool feature. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a big giant thumbs up, absolutely annihilate and smash that like button, and also consider subscribing. I try to make videos about twice a week. Now, if you want to keep watching, the next video I'd recommend is where I talked about a whole bunch of different browser security settings. So those are definitely worth checking out. I'll put that link right there you can click on. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.